Now we have this unbelievable. You guys, everybody should drum roll, get very, very excited. We have Charlene Aminoff, and she is an international speaker, and she's the CEO of Gali's Couture Wigs. Welcome, Charlene. It is so awesome to have you beyond.
It's my pleasure. It's my zichud. I've been looking forward to this for so long.
You're so yummy. I'm so excited. I'm just thrilled to have you on. And I just want to know your answer to our $1 million question, which is small steps to greatness. What is greatness? Well, first of all, what is greatness? What should we be shooting for? It's like we've had a year of COVID. This has been like insanity, and here we are. And now we want to be greatness. Like, I'm just want to survive. So I want to know what greatness is and what are the small steps to get there.
When I think of greatness, I think of my mother. And I'm going to share with you the ultimate lesson in greatness, which was actually the biggest lesson in emunah that I've ever been taught from my mother. My mother was awaiting biopsy results, and we were all hopeful that it was going to be benign. We were positive it was going to be benign. It's mommy. Mommy, the biggest tzaddik, the biggest angel on earth. The surgeon said it's going to take 3 to 5 days. Of course, 3 to 5 days became 5 to 8 days, 10 days, 12 days. I wish not upon any member of Klal Yisrael to have to wait so long to hear results. Finally, 16 excruciatingly long days later, the surgeon calls us, and we're all gathered, all my siblings, we're gathered at my mother's home and my father's home, anticipating the results. We knew the surgeon's going to be calling on this day. We didn't know what's going to be, but we thought no news is good news. If it's taking so long, it must be benign. And finally, the phone rings. My father runs to the phone. He answers it. I have all my siblings around me. We're in my mother's kitchen. My mother is next door tending to her mother and her mother-in-law, making sure they're okay, giving them chizuk, telling them it's fine. It's going to be nothing. It's okay. Hashem is kol yachol. Don't worry. And my father picks up the phone and we hear him saying, yes, doctor. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. And he slowly hangs up the phone. Takes a couple of seconds before he turns around to his children. But slowly he turns and he looks at us and he says, it's not good. It's malignant. It's lymphoma. And we, her children, started screaming and crying, no, Hashem, no, it's not supposed to be malignant, it's supposed to be benign. And all of a sudden, my mother storms into the kitchen. She puts her hands on her hips and she starts saying to us, what are you doing? Chas v'shalom, you should complain. Don't you dare cry. Stand up right now and say, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. It's just cancer. And I was looking at my siblings and I'm like, did we hear correctly? Mommy, Mechila, I love you so much. Mommy, I don't know if you heard, but the doctor said it's malignant. It's cancer. I heard what the doctor said. I was on the other line. I picked up the other line. Who do you think is bigger, Hashem or cancer? Who do you think made the diagnosis? It was Hashem. Surely this is Latova. How dare you cry? We're Persian, and there's a Persian word called nashokri. Nashokri is Farsi for ingratitude, for fetching, for complaining. My mother said, don't you dare do nashokri. Every single one of you, stand up right now, dance. Dance and say thank you, Hashem. Leah, you would think it's Simchat Torah and we're doing hakafot around my mother's island in her kitchen. We're holding hands and we're dancing around her island, singing and praising Hashem. I will never, ever forget this lesson my mother instilled in all of us. Because a couple of days later, when she had her first consultation with her oncologist at Sloan, it's almost hard for me to even wrap my head around the fact that she has an oncologist at Sloan. She goes in, I'm sitting in the waiting room. She's with my father. She comes out. And she has a huge smile on her face, as if she just came back from a wonderful show, a wonderful concert. She's so giddy and she's so happy. And she looks at me and she says, when you thank Hashem, when you should be kvetching and when you should be complaining, Hashem will reward you and he will treat you with chesed instead of dealing with you with din, with gevura. B'chazdei Hashem, we found out at that moment that although it is lymphoma, although it is malignant, my mother has an indolent form of it, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we are buying time with zichuyot, with mitzvot, with whatever we can until the cure for cancer or Mashiach, whichever comes first, we accept b'simcha. But I will never forget that my mother thanked Hashem seconds after hearing that she had lymphoma. To me, that's greatness. When we can accept Ratzon Hashem, not just accept it, but to dance and to be besimcha, to accept the will, to surrender to the will of Hashem and to be grateful instead. Every person's knee-jerk reaction to nisyonot is to kvetch, to complain, to ask Hashem, why me? Why are you picking on me, Hashem? I often joke, those who've heard me speak, have heard me say this before, I always say, if Hashem tests the ones he loves, he's obsessed with me. He's madly in love with me. But my mother is the paradigm of greatness.
But how do you be that? Like, that seems so like, we're here, the gap, between where we could be and where, how do you even start in a small way to be more like your mother? Like, what's her ingredients?
It's the easiest thing in the world. Say thank you, Hashem. My kids, they're all standing around here. They can attest. If they stub their toe, they look at me. Thank you, Hashem, I stubbed my toe. If you get a parking ticket, thank you, Hashem, I got a parking ticket. Because when we thank Hashem, we're taking ourselves out of the equation. We're saying, I understand that I'm not in control. I understand that I'm a puppet of your will. And how can I get angry or upset or cranky over something you're doing when clearly your way is the right way? It's a hard concept to really wrap your head around, but it's so easy. When you talk about small steps to greatness, this is something very small that leads to tremendous greatness, and it leads to tremendous bracha as well as menucha. There's no greater wealth in the world than peace of mind, tranquility. The way you can judge a person's true level of emunah is to rate their tranquility. They're tranquil? Oh, they're bulletproof with their emunah. I've got bulletproof emunah, and I learned this from my mom.
Wow, it's a good. We're having a million.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, so
fashionable mom on Instagram actually has tear emojis, and she said faith takes courage, because that really is what we need. We need courage. So Ellen asks, I'm a rock solid believer, and I constantly work on my bitachon and Hashem, and exactly what you said, I really try to go into Eino Malvado. However, when things are just getting worse and worse and worse instead of better, like by your mother, Baruch Hashem, you saw that there was like a light at the end of the tunnel. How do you go on? Even with the thank you, Hashem, like how do you just pick up day to day?
So that's an amazing question. And Jackie touched upon this before, and I think this is definitely true. We have to always recognize the fact that Ein od milvado, right? We know that everything comes from Hashem, everything is latova. There are times in life where things that are happening to us are challenging. It's hard. And sometimes you don't want these trials, you don't want these tests. But I have a saying, and I want to share this with everyone. And I think if you accept this and apply this to your life, you give yourself a little bit more peace in dealing with what's going on around you. Hashem doesn't want you to stress. He just wants you to stretch. When something happens in your life that challenges you, that shakes you, that rocks you. Look, although my mother, God Baruch Hashem, knew that her lymphoma is indolent, we also heard that where we thought it was just one tumor, there were really 5. Where we thought it was just going to be the one that was sticking out of her neck, she has one tumor that's on her spine and one tumor that's on her heart. The one that's on her heart is tricky because Khalila, chas v'shalom, she's not eligible for chemo or radiation. So when you have no choice but to put your faith in Hashem, it's actually a very, very liberating feeling to say, Hashem, I don't understand what you're doing, but I trust you. And Jackie said it, and I love this, and I say this all the time as well. In this world, we won't have all the answers, but in the world to come, there are no questions.
Okay, come on, we have time for one last question, then we have to get to the group chat. So
So somebody said, how can we calm or lower our voice in our mind that keeps telling us that we need to do more and more in order to feel good about ourselves and to make it?
That's great. Take it away.
I think society has put so much pressure on us to always be hustling and doing and productive. And I'm kind of guilty. I'm kind of busy. I mean, we're all busy, but I have a saying, busy beats bored. I'd rather be too busy than to be bored. But I think there's a certain element of beauty in just saying, I'm content with status quo. I don't need more. Hashem, I lack nothing. I'm good. If you are confident enough to say, Hashem, I don't need to be constantly racing against the clock and doing and moving and shaking and hustling, I'm good. But don't stay complacent in your avoda. Don't stay status quo in how you are in terms of your tefillah, in your gemilut chasadim, in your avoda, in connecting to Hashem. Always strive for greatness in that sense, but you don't have to physically strive for greatness. It's more of an emotional thing. Delegate to Hashem. Hashem is very good at carrying very heavy weights. We're not. Whatever is heavy in your heart, toss it up to Hashem. Hashem, you figure this out.
Great. It's great. Gorgeous. Absolutely.
Wow. Wait, she needs to say something about Dailygiving.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So names.
Then we're going to go into the group chat. Go ahead.
What was it? What was the question?
You're going to say something about Dailygiving. Tell us why you love Dailygiving.
So when I speak, I typically close with this, and I usually say, Hashem says to us, Pitchu li petach kechudo shel machat, ve'ani aftach lachem petach kepitcho shel ulam. It's a remarkable return on a tiny investment. Hashem says, if you open for me an opening the size of an eye of a needle, watch as I open gates for you that chariots can ride through. So too, when you are enrolled in Dailygiving, $1, we're going to pretend this is a pushka, $1 a day, Dailygiving, that can be your chudo shel machat. That can be when you show Hashem, I believe the emunah shalema that this is going to go so far, and Dailygiving is going to take care of to make sure it goes to all the right places. I'm going to set it and forget it. Here it is, $1 a day. It's so small, but it can achieve so much. You talk about steps to greatness. $1 a day is guaranteed steps to greatness.
Gorgeous. Thank you very much, Charlene. Okay, bring everybody else on, and we're going to do a group chat now. Everybody who's watching, start typing in your question. You're going to haviva@dailygiving.org, HAVIVA@dailygiving.org, and you are typing that in. You're sending in a question for our ladies. We've got all the ladies. Everybody come on. Is everybody there?
Wait, just really quickly while they're coming on, Leora Greenstein from Mid-Levels, Rocky and Benji Stern from Woodmere. We've got Beit Shemesh, Loa Lewantine, and we got Chicago, Tzvi Addis. We got so many people giving $1, so keep those dollars coming.
Yay.
This is what it's for.
It's gorgeous. Okay, so we have to figure out now what, so I'm going to ask Lee, we're going to kind of play this one. First of all, welcome everybody. Isn't this awesome? Guys,
so
this is awesome.
So fun.
So fun. So, okay, so we have this big party going on here. This is the after party. Okay, so hold on. Now we're gonna have Sarit's gonna ask the question, and first we're gonna have everybody do. So here's how we're gonna do it. She's gonna ask the question, and then I guess somebody who will kind of take turns or whatever. Raise your hand if you have an answer, and then if you had something you want to answer to that person, and then we could be here all night. So we have to be very careful. If you have something that you want to add, that's fine too, and then we'll just go on to the next question. Okay, so these are the questions we have there, and everybody who's watching, haviva@dailygiving.org. Type in your questions now, and we're going to take them live. Okay, we are starting with the first question.
No joke, Leah, in history, I don't think I've ever seen a lineup like this on the screen all at once. These women are literally rocking the house.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, yeah.
Okay, so this is perfect for this, because we have Sarah Pollack who asks, many of our most influential Jewish community leaders, these women, are extremely busy. However, a lot of us are simple people. How can we let go of the rat race and feel good about ourselves in a world that is saturated and gives us a message that we need to be constantly doing to feel good in us?
Can I answer that? Oh, Jackie, you answer that. Jackie, you take it.
Hi, Charles.
My love, I love you.
You know what? I have to tell you, Sarah Pollock, you are so special and you are so wonderful. And when people say to me, oh my gosh, Jackie, how do you speak and how do you teach? Do you know what I always say? The most important thing that I will ever do in my entire life is to be a wife and a good wife to my husband, to be a good daughter, a good mom, and a good sister, and an Evet Hashem. All the other things that I do are just extra, and it's Hashem's graciousness that I'm able to do it. But in the end of the day, if you are your best you, and that could mean being in your house, not working at all, but we know how hard it is to work and be a good family person, a good wife and a good mom. That is the most important job that we have as Jewish women. And I always think of what the Vilna Gaon, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, always said, that the reason why we're in this world is to be the best people that we can be. And it doesn't make a difference. You don't have to be this fancy, famous, rich speaker, blogger, fashionista. You just got to be the best you that you can be. And that's awesome.
That's
Jackie, I just want to add
Amazing.
something very quickly to that, if that's okay. I just want to add something quickly. Just yesterday, because I get these questions all the time, I'm sure all of you do. And just yesterday, somebody phrased it interestingly. She said to me, is your husband so proud of who you are and everything you do? I thought it was a very sweet question. And you know what I answered her? I said, yes, he is, but he would be much prouder if I would also put the laundry away. No?
Okay, Laurie. Go
Okay,
ahead.
wait, by the way, Leah, just so you know, Jonathan said we're going to 11.
Oh,
So
oh.
you got some time,
Okay,
ladies.
don't
You
chew
got
my
some
nails off.
time.
Okay, all right, fantastic.
Yaffa,
Okay,
it's so good. Yaffa, it's
Hi,
so
Laurie.
good to see you. Yaffa, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know, I miss you.
So great.
Yeah, people, by the way, are loving that you're all on. And literally, people are like on Instagram, like, OMG, love you guys. And people are like,
So,
"This
I want the women out there to know.
all night.
I want the women out there to know, and I believe that the women who these amazing women who I'm privileged to be on screen with will probably, I hope, will agree that for people like us, actually, our challenge and our greatness is actually to go smaller, to go more internal. That this year that I had, because normally I'm like always on the road, like I don't even know where I am when I wake up. And this year my world got very small, and I was with my husband day and night for 13 months. And of course I had my laptop. I said this year, 2020 was Gilligan's Island meets the Jetsons. Okay. Like Hashem decided this is who you're going to be on the island with, but he gave us this incredible technology. He gave us the refuah before the makkah. And for me, it was such self-growth not to be on the road, not to be so public, to be more internal, to be there for my husband, to be more nurturing, to be more healing even for myself. So life begins at the end of your comfort zone. For me, being on the stage and being like that, that's easy for me. Like that is really who I was. Like, this is my second grade report card says Lori likes to get up in front of the class and enthrall them with her stories. Okay. So my growth and my greatness is not more out. It's actually coming in.
Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. Wow, that's an Aliyah. You learned a lot from this. Okay, go ahead, Suri.
Okay, this is a really good one, ladies. So are you ready? Grindy Cats writes, if there was a magic pill for happiness, we would all be standing in line for days to take it. However, since there isn't a pill, what are some key actionable items we can do to find inner happiness?
Go ahead, Jackie. Oh, and then Charlie. Okay, go ahead, Jackie. You raised your hand first. Go ahead.
I have a very, very dear friend, and I could almost guarantee that everybody who is watching this, and I understand that we have at least 8,000 sign-ups, woohoo, go holy women in the Kalal Yisrael, has heard of her, and that is my very dear friend named Gail Sassoon. Gail Sassoon lost 7 children in a fire a number of years ago, has one remaining child, her daughter Tzipora. She should be healthy and well. I've had many conversations with Gail. And I remember at one point a number of years ago, Now, again, we're talking about somebody who experienced a personal Holocaust, okay? And she is so positive and she is so upbeat and she is so extraordinary. And I said to her, Gail, and I couldn't even say it without sobbing, how do you do it? Like, how do you wake up in the morning? How do you just go on with your life? And I'll never forget, really, as long as I live, what she said. She squeezed my hand and she said to me, Jackie, when you always focus on what you don't have, you will never be happy. But when you focus on what you do have, you will forever own your simcha. And I think that that is one of the greatest.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. You have to do it slower because that was like, wow, blow me away.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing. So say it again, but say it slow.
Sure. When you focus on what you don't have, you will never be happy. But when you focus on what you do have, you will forever own your simcha. Forever, it's yours, and nobody can take it away from you. Is that unbelievable?
Yeah.
That is not coming from some like random redhead in Brooklyn. It's from a person who has lived Gehenna, okay, and has just emerged so much greater. And I really think it's something that so many people unfortunately do. Well, if I just had like a husband who was more like him, and if I had kids who did better in school, and if I was just down like 20 pounds, right? And if I had a nicer house, and if I had this and I had that, then I'd be happy, right? But at a certain point, you have to say, I am chasing something that will never be if I keep on comparing myself and saying, I don't have it. But as soon as you say, oh my gosh, I have eyesight, I have a mind, I can smile, I have a family, I could breathe, I am alive. And you start appreciating what you have, you will forever own your simcha.
It's gorgeous,
Exactly right.
gorgeous. Okay, Charlene.
I was actually
Awesome, Sorry, Charles.
Jax always puts it so much nicer than me. But I was going to say,
Just to say, I don't know if you know how close Charlene and I are, and I just have to say about her, she is the most positive person. You know, people like on the outside, they are. This woman in the inside, okay, in her home, she lives simcha. That story about her mother, that's her. Everything is thank you, Hashem. So what she says, you take it to the bank.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, this was coming from Jackie, who is the most positive person.
Okay. All right.
Exactly. Jackie's actually one of my best friends. We're texting all day, all night.
Well,
We're WhatsApping. Even as she was on before, I was like WhatsApping her, and then I'm like, oh shoot, maybe she didn't disable her notifications. Maybe I should stop.
Oh my gosh.
So we want to know. We want to know.
Can I be a part of this friendship? 1 second.
I know. How do we get in there? But
How do
hold on
I
a
get
second. Charlene, hold on. But when you answer this, what we want to know, because everything that Jackie just said seems so like far reach from where we are to where the step by step to get there. So maybe you can answer that part of the question of practically everybody who's watching wants to know, yeah, wow, she's amazing, but it has to be accessible so that we can grow, we can know how to be that way.
So for me, it is twofold. It is exactly what Jackie said. You're not living someone else's life. Don't look at other people. You're in your own lane. Stay in your own lane and just get to the finish line of your lane. Obviously, that brings tremendous simcha because then you recognize that everything is for you. You're not looking at her peikalach. Everybody has peikalach. Everybody has a package that Hashem has given them in their life. No one lives a perfect life. And if you think, you're wrong. They're just faking it really well. Everyone struggles. Everyone suffers. Everyone has stress. But you might not see it. So you're comparing yourself to what someone else shows you. And then you're making yourself crazy because you're like, she's perfect. She has the perfect home, the perfect children, the perfect marriage. No one's life is perfect. Get that thought out of your mind. That's totally false. Recognize that you're in your own lane. Look ahead. There was actually, after one of the Olympics, there was an amazing photo on the front cover of the New York Times of two swimmers. I'm forgetting their names. It was two Olympic swimmers that were neck and neck. And it shows that at the last millisecond, one of the projected gold medalist looks to the side. And because he looks to the side to see where his opponent is holding up, he lost by point something.
Wow.
So he was the projected gold medalist. He ended up becoming the silver medalist by something like 2 milliseconds. And
Yeah, it was Michael Phelps. And I always say that story also, Charlene, because it made such an impact on me when I saw that image. The whole time while they were swimming, you see Phelps looking straight ahead. He's
tunnel vision.
Yes, he's focusing on where he's going. He's in his lane, and the other guy is looking at Phelps.
Exactly.
So you want to win in life.
Wow.
You want to win in life. Stay in your lane. You want to lose in life. Focus on the competition.
But there's one more thing, and I think this is, Leah, to answer you, a simple step to get you there, because these seem like very lofty, noble concepts, but something very tangible. It's not happy people who are grateful.
Right.
It's grateful people who are happy.
Wait. Say that again. Okay, it's not. Wait, say it again.
It's not happy people who are grateful. It's grateful people who are happy.
Do we have to make a meme?
That's the cause and effect of happiness.
Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, we got next.
Wow.
Let's go to the next question. We got so many coming in, and keep typing.
Joe,
hold on, everybody, type. You be typing right now. Everybody's watching. You should be typing.
And while you're typing, go to dailygiving.org/power-hour and donate.
And donate, right? That's it. Sign up and join this amazing.
Sign up. That's what we're here for.
Teamwork.
These ladies are here for a cause, and let's get it out there. Okay, so Hannah TF on Instagram said, we need way more of this more often. So ladies, you're coming on next week. Just letting you know right now.
I'm here for it.
Just a really quick thing for Lori. Fashionable Mom said, it's Wendy Stern from Cedarhurst. She said, please tell Lori Palatnik that Rabbi Mike Zatzal would have loved this. Huge. Okay, so the question, how do you know if we're on the right track to greatness? How do we separate self-doubt from being on the wrong path? From Mallory.
No one wants to
Wait, how do we separate self-doubt from what?
How do we separate self-doubt, right, from being on, meaning we feel like we're on the wrong path. Even though we're kind of going on the right way, we have all this doubt in our head, like maybe we're not doing it right. So how do we achieve greatness without allowing our own self to hurt ourselves?
How to sabotage? You're saying how do you not sabotage yourself? How to not sabotage yourself? Yeah.
Well, I think if you don't mind me answering, starting off at least, I think that the first step is to really know what your core values are. Because once you know who you are and what you stand for and what your goals are and where you're going, then you'll be able to make decisions better as well. And if you know your core values and what you stand for, you weigh your priorities better. And then you'll know, am I doing this? If you ask yourself, whenever you have a decision to make and you're not sure, am I doing it for the right reasons? Is this, which side do I choose? You have to ask yourself one question. Is what I am about to do going to bring Hashem glory? Or is it not? Is this going to bring me closer to Hashem?
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. That's gorgeous.
And it just makes it so much easier.
Yaffa, that's very beautiful. I like to add that, one of the 48 ways to wisdom is Diktuk Chaverim, is in the 6th chapter and the 6th Mishnah of Pirkei Avot. It's that there are 48 ways to acquire wisdom. Diktuk Chaverim means to talk it out with friends. And most of the people in our life are not friends. Even though Facebook tells me I have 5,000 friends, like these people are not my friends. So most of the people in our life are acquaintances, and we need acquaintances. But a friend, the Talmud says, if you have 1.5 friends in your life, you're rich. A friend is somebody who's going to call you on something. A friend is going to tell you, because they love you and care about you, that you're going in the wrong direction. So Seilach a Rav, you should have a Rav and you should have a friend. And that a person who's that you can talk things out with. You're not alone. You're not alone in deciding, should I be doing this or should I be, or this is the wrong thing to do? Or maybe I've got old tapes in my head saying, or these fears. You need people who are going to lift you up, but who are also going to help you, point you in the right direction.
I just want to say that Lori is that friend, because when I first started doing Zooms a year ago, okay, I did a few Zooms and I was so proud, I got this, and Lori sends me a text, Yaffa, you need to lift the computer higher. You need to make sure there's more light in your room. You need to check your background. I was like, oh my gosh, is the toilet seat up? Like, what's behind me? And I was like,
okay, by the way, Leah, this thing is like going off the hook. So firstly, keep it coming. Erica Swirlovitz, who actually just joined, number one, she wants to know where she could get one of those Dailygiving cups.
Okay.
So, we need to get those out. But she actually said, OMG, I'm so blessed I discovered this amazing organization today. And Hannah TF on Instagram said it was because of these amazing people that I actually signed up. So kudos to you guys for this lineup.
And there's also somebody who just yesterday, he saw the ad or whatever. He got so inspired and so excited about Dailygiving. He's give $18, one for every person in his family a day. $18. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Jackie, you wanted to answer that question, so go.
I loved what Yaffa said. I love what Lori said. And I just wanted to say, just to continue what Lori was saying, sometimes we think taking help is weakness, like, oh my gosh, I must be that I can't do it on my own. I can tell you, taking help is honesty and it's greatness. I could not function without my cleaning lady. She comes 3 days a week and every day is precious. So exactly what Lori is saying, when you are challenged and you don't know if you could make the right decision and is this the right decision, we have to tap into the very special people in our lives and the resources that we have. A mentor, a special rabbi, like Lori and Yaffa have, and Baruch Hashem, Charlene and I have, a good friend, and just to remember that that is not a sign of weakness, that is a sign of strength. And Hashem wants us all to be giving to each other. And it's so important to reach out to other people when we need it.
And one thing is that when you're watching, if you can think in your life right now, you probably have few people floating around, like she's a good friend. You have a few people, but you haven't chosen them as your real closey. Write a few names down. Maybe write 5 names on your phone or on an index card, piece of paper. Write them down, and then as you're thinking, say, I'd like to get closer to that person. And we have many sources that say you should actually buy a friend, take them to lunch, bring them gifts. Make yourselves a friend. You may not have one right away, and you might be listening to this and thinking, "Oh, woe is me." But if you make them a friend, think about it, think it carefully through, of who you can choose to do that, and just to bring it into your life. Okay, we're going right to
Okay, so wait. Rena Laffer from Brooklyn signed up for $1 a day. Vera Clark from Denver. Miriam Klugman from Lakewood. Evelyn Stefanski from New York. There's so many. Okay, keep them coming. But I have a really good question. But Joka Leah from Instagram said, every day, if we just try our best to do the best at that moment, that's the only way to continue. So she's echoing everything they're saying. Now, good question. It's a hard one a little bit. After a year like this with COVID, some people feel like just getting up and feeding their kids is greatness. So how do we feel more fulfilled?
That sounds good to me.
I'll answer that if I can.
Okay, good, show.
I think COVID was a rude awakening for everybody. But I think COVID was also such a reality check, in a sense that up until this pandemic, we all thought we're in control. Hashem showed us that not only are we not in control right now, we were never in control to begin with. So it's almost like we were forced to slam on the brakes of life and to stop and just recognize. You have your health, thank you, Hashem. You have your home, thank you, Hashem. You have a significant other, you have children, our priorities shifted. Some things that were at the bottom of the list rose to the top. Some things that were at the top suddenly went out the window. We learned that Hashem runs the world, He runs the show, and we got our acts together. I said more Tehillim this past year than I've said in my past 39 years. And I think that although COVID was by all opinions, it was a tragedy, but within that darkness, we could also find the light, that what came from it, we all had no choice but to rely on Hashem. We had nowhere to go. So open it to Him. Shuls were closed. So daven at home. Connect to Hashem in your kitchen, in your den, in your dining room. But connect. Lori, I see you raised your hand. You're so nice. You can.
First of all, it's so beautiful, but Hashem put the whole world in a timeout.
Yes.
why do we put our kids in a timeout? Because clearly they were making mistakes, and you're in a timeout. You're in a timeout to think about your actions, your thoughts, and your words. And ideally you come out of that timeout a better person.
Right.
So people keep saying they want to go back to the way it was. Like, let me just go back. Like, I can't wait for things to be normal and I want to go back. If we go back to the way it was, this was for nothing.
Exactly right.
Nothing. For nothing. And for the woman who asked the question, right now, every day during COVID, when you're inside with your kids, you are making memories. What memories do you want? My grandparents talked about my parents grew up telling us stories of growing up in the Depression, but they told like loving stories and happy, funny stories. Like, you're making memories. What memories do you want your kids to have of this historic time? Because your kids are going to be telling their children and their grandchildren about now. So are they going to tell stories about how we put on family plays? Are they going to tell stories about how we were able to play games, how we were able to work on something, how we learned how to cook together, and that's how we learned math, by doing measuring? Or are we going to tell stories about fighting and just being stressed out and no one talking to each other? You're making memories. You're
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Wow. By the way, Leah, no joke. We have fashionable mom who says we have been humbled. Everyone is like loving this, but Leah, oh my gosh, we have so many, but we're totally out of time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the one who's supposed to be like cueing you, and I'm like, I can't. I
don't want it to end. Okay, so but here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna do. I want each one of you to think of one secret to greatness that you want to end with. Okay, you can each get literally like 15, 30 seconds. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Before we do that, we want to announce the winner of the Apple Watch, and I'm going to announce a surprise raffle that we're going to do. But first, let's
okay, we will announce the winner. But before we announce the winner, everyone, go now and sign up. Don't wait till tomorrow. You wait till tomorrow, we're women. We will forget about it. So go now, dailygiving.org/Power Hour. Okay, and the winner of the watch, I was hoping it was me, but it's not Leah. It's, drumroll, Jane Cooper, coopjane@gmail.com.
Yay! You get the Apple Watch, or you can take money, whichever you want. And now we're gonna do the next raffle. The raffle here. So, and you guys are all the speakers, you guys are thinking of one final thing you're gonna say at the end. But I just want to announce this raffle. So here's what the raffle is. If you right now type in at Haviva and if you can put it up on the screen, Haviva at dailygiving.org, and what you're answering the following two questions. One is, what's the most memorable thing you got out of tonight? And the second thing is, what's the greatest thing you love about daily giving? If you're a giver, you're not a giver, what do you love about daily giving? So again, you're answering these questions. What is the most memorable thing you got out of tonight, and what do you love about daily giving? And the winner will win Marriage Secrets. This is my book. It's got 200, can you see it there? It's got 220 Torah sources on Shalom Bayis. That's what the Ladies Talk Show is all about. We talk about how to have the best relationship possible, and a $100 Amazon gift card. So for you to type that in, you send it in, and we'll keep it open for like the next hour. And anyone who sends in that email will get into that raffle. Okay, now bring all the ladies on, and let's go from one person to one person, and we want to know the final secret that you have of steps to greatness. Who's gonna go first? We're gonna have a fight. Okay, Jackie, just go first.
Okay, if I have to pick one word, I would say appreciate. Just appreciate what you have, because when you appreciate and you have gratitude, you live with simcha. And when you live with simcha, you can accomplish unbelievable things.
Wow, that's good. That's true. I want to bottle that up.
Okay, we're good. We're done. No.
I want to bottle that up. Okay, who's going next? Somebody raise their hand so I don't have to be so. Okay, Charlene. Okay, Charlene, do raise first.
I think tefillah. Just daven to Hashem. It's so hard sometimes. Sometimes you're not in the mood to daven. Sometimes there's so much in your heart. You feel like, how can I possibly connect to Hashem when there's so much going on? That's exactly when you should daven. Just pour your heart out. Sometimes you could open it to Tehillim and you could sing and steig. And sometimes you could just go into a room and say, Hashem, I'm in a rough patch right now. take me out, guide me, help me. I think just daven. That's it.
Ooh, oh, this is so beautiful. I feel okay. This is good. I want to bottle this up. We really ought to have this bottled. Okay, who's next? One of you guys. Somebody talk.
I don't mind going next.
Okay. Go ahead. Good.
So I think it's so important to understand your self-worth. Everybody needs to know. We live in a society that is actually very detrimental to our emotional health. And we think it's such a progressive society, like, oh, we're so aware of our feelings now. Guys, that's a trap. It's a trap, because being so aware of our feelings is a double-edged sword. On one hand, yes, it's wonderful. We are the first generation that actually has a relationship with our feelings, right? We're allowed to understand them and feel them. But how much are we supposed to be leaning into our feelings, right? That is extremely dangerous when we allow our feelings to control us, when we let our mood control us instead of us being in control. So when we are being told constantly, if you don't feel like doing it, oh, honey, just don't do it, right? Just don't do it today. You don't feel good about yourself. In order to make good choices, you have to be empowered to make those good choices. You have to know your self-worth. You have to know that if Hashem woke you up today, it's because there is something big that you need to accomplish today. Every single morning, we have to wake up and say, wow, thank you for giving me another day, Hashem. Let's see what I will do with my day today. And we have so much more resilience than we think, right? Just because yesterday was a hard day, you got another day today. Our yesterday does not have to be our tomorrow. Every single day is a brand new day. And I'm just going to say one more thing. What does self-love mean? When you know your self-worth, and whatever our society teaches us all about self-love. The self-love that our society is teaching us is self-obsession. And self-obsession is detrimental to our emotional health. Self-love, I'm going to tell you how I define self-love. Okay? Self-love is seeing yourself the way Hashem sees you. And Hashem does not see you, Hashem doesn't see you the way you see yourself. You look at yourself with all these filters in front of you, filters of insecurity, filters of low self-esteem, filters of jealousy, filters of not being enough. You know how Hashem sees you? Elokai neshama shenatata bi tahorahi. A beautiful, pure soul every single day. And
oh my God, Leah! Lori, oh my God, that was amazing.
Okay.
We're so out of time.
Gorgeous, great. We're out of time. So just Lori, we want to hear Lori. Thank you so much. Go.
Okay, so very, very quickly, everything everybody said was so beautiful. So Rabbi Noach Weinberg's at Solid Blessed Memory, when people would go to Reb Noach for a bracha, and I brought many people to him, and 99.9% of the time, he gave the exact same bracha to everyone. He said, you should always know that Hashem loves you. And everything that everybody's been saying really, really comes down to that. And he says the tragedy of the Jewish school system we have today, from the most left to the most right, is that you can send your kids there and spend a lot of money and they can come out knowing a lot, but they don't even know that Hashem loves them. That means, and Hashem doesn't make junk. You are amazing. Each woman who is listening right now, you're incredible. You're unbelievable. Hashem loves you so, so much, even with our mistakes, even with our faults, even when we don't even listen or we don't even think about him. He loves us and it's shining through. We're the ones who step away. We're the ones who step into the shadow. Stay in Hashem's light.
Okay, by the way, Leah, just really super quickly, Instagram, I'm so moved to tears. I need to listen again. There are millions of nuggets here. And somebody actually said, as soon as this ends, I will sign up. I couldn't while it was on because I didn't want to miss out. So everyone go now, as soon as this ends.
Yeah, don't forget to sign up. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Thank you all for this beautiful group chat. This is unbelievable. Thank you. This is Leah Richeimer for the I was going to say Ladies TalkShow. Sorry, the Dailygiving. Just used to have it. Thank you all very much for being on here. We love you. It's delicious. I have so many gems I'm taking with me tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.